Welcome back to the PT Graduate Podcast. And today my guest is Lorraine Page, better known as Rain PT.
Hi.
Hi, Rain. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing on a Friday afternoon?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Hunger is building, so I'll be scoffing when we finish this.
No problem.
Good to meet you. And for those who don't know, you've appeared already. This is your second, isn't it? Because you joined all the Auckland ambassadors a couple of weeks ago. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago for a sort of a joint or a group session, group interview. So welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me again.
It's great to it was great to be able to connect, and because of that, it was kind of what galvanized me into saying, hey, look, let's do an individual chat, because I've spoken to the other two ladies at more length, but not you. So great to have you on, and be good to find out more.
Oh, spill all my secrets.
only the ones you want to.
Okay.
So I see you're from Onitangi, so on Waihi.
Yes, I was born and raised on an island. What?
Yeah.
Waiheke Island. So I call myself a little island girl. Island girl with red hair and pickles. There you go.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my family originated from. Yes.
Okay. Right. Yeah. And so you've been in the industry a reasonable while. You've got some years under your belt. When did it kick off? And was that the first thing you did, or did you do stuff before?
I've been in the health and fitness industry itself for about approximately 18, 19 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
So quite a long time. So I'm a bit more mature than your 20-something PT.
Yeah.
But no, I have a bigger background. I had background in childcare. I have a background in administration, so office work, and I was trying to find a way to combine all of that with my love of fitness. And so I found a gym that I worked in the childcare as a childcare minder, and then I was the manager of the childcare minding situation there.
Yeah.
And then I also worked on the desk at reception. I also did the sales. So I did all the office work in the gym.
Right.
And then the PTs on the floor started asking me questions if I could help them in a class. I wasn't qualified.
Right.
So I helped in the classes, I helped on the gym floor, and then that was kind of what inspired me to actually get a certificate or a degree in actually doing it. So then I could do everything I loved all in one place.
Fantastic. So you'd always had that sort of love for it, and you just sort of found your way to it through all of those other roles. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So where was that originally? That first location?
That very first gym was back in 2004, 2003, 2004, and that was at a women's only gym called Contours in Green Lane.
Okay. Yeah, that's still there, isn't it? Is that right?
It is, but it's I think it's called Bohi something.
Okay.
It's called a different name now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I think one of my clients she's mentioned that before, and I think her friend owns it or owned it that's more recently. So yeah, those things are still around in certain places, I think. Yeah,
they are. In like the 3 or 4 years I was there, we had a couple of different owners and a few different managers. I mean, that's the business. It's a transient business.
Yep. But it's obviously kind of cemented your passion, and you kind of got on track with and still, that got you to where you are, I guess.
Pretty much. I mean, fitness is my entire life. So as soon as I was old enough to join a gym, which you weren't allowed to join one until you were 16. So if you're a good mathematician, I've had a gym membership for 38 years now.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Fantastic. My very first gym I joined was called Top Shape.
Right.
Which is now Club Physical.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there still are some of those around. Yeah. Now, fast forward. This is where my research kind of loses a substantial amount. But fast forward. So I've got you. Is it Volition by Fitaa? in
Yes.
2015?
Yes, I worked at a gym. It was a community gym called Volition in Glen Eden.
Yeah, right.
And they had a couple of name changes before they became Volition. And now the owners have sold it to a company who have several gyms, which is Fitaa.
Ah, okay.
So Fitaa own, from my understanding, a few other gyms in Auckland. So Volition is just one of them.
Right, got you. And then Snap in 2018, is that right?
That's right. I'm at Snap in Avondale, and
Yep.
I've been there for a few years now.
Yeah, and you do stuff outside of there though, is that right?
I do mobile training as well. Yes.
Yeah. So
And
you've got
online as well. Yeah.
Yes, I was just going to read that out actually. So you've got the coaching, which is a lot of, I guess, some of the PH360 stuff that you've done,
Yes.
online stuff, mobile partner groups, some great group activities I see from your page.
Yes, I love my groups there. I like to keep them small and intimate. I'm a stickler for technique. And I find when I've taught really large groups, it was really difficult to keep my eyeball on everybody in there.
Yeah.
And I like to know what everyone's doing, because everyone has a different thing happening. They've all got different injuries and just things going on. And I like to keep my eye on it.
Yeah. So quality over quantity is sounds like the focus. Yeah. Good. I think people get a better experience from that, don't they, as well? I mean, obviously there are lots of big groups, but at the end of the day, they know what they're getting when there's sort of 50 people or, even 25 people, it's a significant responsibility to try and keep an eye on all of them. On your own, you'd need extra help. Yeah.
Definitely. I have worked with another Snap PT. When his groups get quite large, then we work together.
Yeah, smart.
For that very reason, so we can both keep an eye on the group. So it's his group, and I just help him manage it.
Brilliant. Yeah. And so what took you down the path of PH360 with the personalized health stuff?
I really enjoyed pretty much their ethos of personalized health. I liked the idea of it being personalized and individual. Because I don't think one size fits all. I don't believe that in a fitness world.
Yeah.
I think it's very individual, and I like the idea of tailoring what matches that individual person, including their lifestyle.
And was it powerful for you? Obviously you'd set your own up as well as when you get into it, it's part of the process. Did it have a positive effect for you?
Oh, very positive. I've always felt like I'm a bit odd and a little bit unique, and I don't fit quite a lot of molds.
Yeah, good.
So when I learned my health type, that's how they talk. Everyone has their health type. And when I learned what kind of makes me, it was like, finally.
Really?
It makes sense. I understand. And there's other people as strange as I am.
Right. Yeah. So Crusader or Sensor?
Both. Exactly on the cusp, like
really?
right dead in the middle center.
Oh, okay. I picked it.
I can see you picked it.
Lucky guess. Okay. So would that mean that you've got an even split between those two types, or is the bias?
Definitely. And for me, the even split, it does depend on what's going on in my world. I have some health issues as well. So if my health issues come into play, I can lean more one way than the other.
Right. Yes. Smart. And what do you find triggers those things? What are the things that sort of you'd be aware of now that sort of take you down that path?
Well, the sensor side of me is very sensitive and very in tune with what's happening around me.
Yeah.
So I feel energy. I know that sounds airy-fairy, but I feel energies around me. So if there is a positive energy around me, then I can feel quite safe and positive. If there's an uneasy energy around me, then I get quite quiet and very observant.
Right.
And then I start looking for safety exits, like if I need to get out.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. And is that something you were aware of before you set your profile up, and like you said, this is me, you know, it all made sense?
Yes, very much so. I've always known these things about myself. I just didn't realize that other people had them as well.
Yeah. It helps you, I guess, connect with some people who may be less aware of themselves, and you can sort of help bridge that gap for them so that they catch up to a point where their awareness improves and increases, and then they can make the changes they need to make, I suppose, if they need to. Yeah,
exactly. Like I've always been aware of how I feel about situations and places and just things. I never understood why I felt that way. And now that I went through the PH 360 health coaching, I understand why I feel that way now. It makes more sense to me.
Yeah, quite powerful, isn't it? When you get that information, and it's you know, it's science-based, and it makes sense, you know, in a real world. The penny drops. You really embrace it. Yeah.
And my crusader side really helps me in business because I can get focused. And almost tunnel vision. So if I have a goal in mind, everything else goes out the window, and that's my target, and that's where my focus goes.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. You're speaking my language now.
You're a crusader.
Yeah. But again, it's that awareness, right? You know, you kind of know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, but until they're sort of put on page or on a screen, and you go, okay, it can also be a weakness if I only stay in this mode. Therefore I need to think about how that comes off for other people. Being very task focused.
My strength and my crusader ability is my focus, and my weakness is my focus. So there are strength and a weakness.
Yes, exactly. Because you can be knocking people out of the way, trying to achieve your goal, and actually, you know, there's no one to talk to at the end if you're not careful, because you pissed them all off.
Exactly. It's like I don't have time to talk to my friends, my family, my colleagues. I'm focused on this, and I shut everything else until I accomplish that.
Yes. Yeah. So I guess being on the cusp is quite powerful, because then you like you said, you can sort of lean either way depending on what you need, which is really useful.
I find it very useful. It works really well for me.
Awesome. What sort of clients do you tend to work with, if you were to sort of map them on the 360 wheel? What's the typical person that comes to see you?
I've noticed my niche, because that's one thing I think a trainer needs to understand, is who their people are.
Yeah.
And I've come to understand that my people don't have an age or a gender, but the commonality is pretty much confidence.
Okay.
So I build confidence in people.
Yeah.
So the kind of people that I attract and I enjoy working with are people that need to build their confidence in whatever area is their goal. So whether that's habit building or nutrition or lifestyle, just a focus. Like, I'm focused, so I can teach people how to have a focus.
Yeah. I'm just going to pause for a second. Right, I'll just snip that. I like, that's interesting hearing that, how you've found your niche, you know who your people are, and I think, you know, that's a really important element of doing it well in this industry, is having that, whatever you call it, you know, client avatar, or, you know, that you know, description or person that represents all of the people that you work with, so that you know who you're talking to, and when your message goes out, it's always consistent with those people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having a background in caregiving, I just think that's my nature.
Right.
I
Yes.
like to take care of people. So if I find somebody, the person could be 16, fresh out of high school, never been in a gym, feeling really intimidated, that's male or female. And that's my person. I can take you and I can look after you and I can educate you and I can show you how to get where you need to go in a safe way.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I guess if you do, you've obviously done that a number of times. You've kind of got it down pat in terms of how to approach it. I suppose everybody's different, but at the same time, if their needs are the same or similar, then there would be a way of approaching that to must be quite rewarding because you know you can see physical stuff, but you know that confidence stuff is like a whole nother level because it affects everything else, doesn't it? Once people realize their ability, their strengths, their capability, whatever it might be, it's like all the light bulbs go on.
When the light bulbs go off, I have my clients tease me. Apparently, I have a happy dance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently.
Excellent.
So when they're doing something that has sparked joy in them, when they are doing something that they've been trying to accomplish and it finally clicks, I do this little happy dance thing. Because I get really excited for them.
That's awesome. People are going to have to hit the YouTube link now to watch that because listening is
the happy dance.
The happy dance is something you've got to see. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's great to celebrate those things as well because sometimes people don't always know how far they've come because the now is the now and they don't always review and reflect, and you can help them do that and they'll sort of see the difference, and you know, it's a great celebration for everybody.
Oh, definitely. I do take photos and little videos, and I keep little files of them only. And then when they're having a down day or they're getting frustrated with something, I show them.
Nice.
And they're like, oh, okay, I forgot that I couldn't do that, or I was, So I find imagery very powerful.
Yeah. I like that idea. I might even steal that because your camera scroll of photos is just there. It's like, I remember that one, it's about 3 months ago. But if you have a folder for clients, then it's just ready to go at a moment's notice if you need it. So that's a great tip.
A lot of my female clients, if they're not always in the best headspace, and I never force someone to get on a scale. That can be very intimidating for some people, and it can really mess with your head looking at numbers. So I ask permission, and if they don't want to, it's okay with me. And then I ask them if I can take a photo, and they always get nervous, but I tell them it's only on my phone, it goes nowhere, it's between me and you, and I'm taking the photo to show you in a month what you used to look like.
Yes. Yeah. And they'll have that trust at that stage, I imagine, that you know, that's fine and it works well and no problem at all.
Yeah.
I think you're right. The scales can be dangerous, right? They're only measuring one thing and there are so many other things changing.
Yes. I do ask them to do tape measurements. And I have not had anyone object to tape measurements, but the numbers on the scale, I think they can be quite detrimental for some people's mental health.
Yeah, agreed. And I think getting that permission is obviously, rather than just assuming everyone will go through the same process, it's the right way to approach it. Yeah.
Well, they do when we first meet in my initial assessment, they just assume I'm going to measure them and weigh them and put them through this awful fitness test.
Yeah.
That's where my trust building starts in that first assessment. So through conversation, through guidance, and through no pressure. I have a no pressure approach in my assessment.
Brilliant. You're obviously a natural at building rapport and helping put people in a situation where they naturally trust you to guide them from there. Yeah, it's quite a skill.
Yes.
You talked about images, and before we hit record, you mentioned that that was sort of something that you were strong on from you know, a social media point of view. It's very much about the images, not so much about the words, because, and as I said, you know, picture paints 1,000 words, and it's absolutely true. There's some phenomenal, not just pictures, but videos up there that of the things that you do and how you do it and who you do it with, and gives a really good feel for the business and the person that you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
The imagery is more about my community and my clients, and less about me. I want the focus to be about my clients, and I feel that you can see who I am through my clients.
Yeah, I think so. I think the way you've done it is very much the case. And so you've got some private groups there as well. So obviously there's sort of like a public page, but you then bring people into private groups. Is that for the privacy, or have you monetized it? What do you do with those groups?
So I have a couple of different groups, and one group would be like if I have a challenge going. Right. If I have a challenge going on, so those challenges will be in a private group, and then we can check in with each other, and that's where I make them accountable, where I've given them homework to do. And so so I make them accountable. And then there's another group, which is the Fitness Hub, and all my paying members go into that group. Right. And even when we stop training together, I keep them in the group. Clever. And we just share things with each other, because we've already got that relationship. So we might share a girls' night out. So only female clients and I go out. We might share recipes. We might share our loss of focus, and so they talk to each other as well. It's like a community.
That's powerful. I like the idea of keeping people in the community, even if they've stopped attending for whatever reason it may be. And they're more likely to, whenever the time is right, come back round again, perhaps.
Definitely. Retention is my goal.
Yeah. It's a very good goal.
Also, when we're in lockdown during like a COVID situation, if we're in a lockdown, that's where my clients, I offer free classes in there, and that's just to keep all of us focused, myself included. Right. And I don't charge for that. That's just something we all join in and do together.
Yeah. I think that retention thing is something we undervalue, because I spoke to, I don't know if you know Paul Brown, whose nickname is Mr. Retention. Chatted to him a couple of episodes ago, which hasn't come out yet, but he kind of accidentally got into this retention business because there were some gyms out there that were needing help, and he started looking, and they were like, we need help with our sales and marketing. And he looked at that and he said, guys, you're doing a great job with your sales and marketing. He said, the problem is you're losing people out the back door as fast as they're coming in the front door. The work needs to go into retaining, not recruiting. And I think that's probably a really good lesson for all of us in this industry is, well, what actual practices or systems and processes do we have that we continuously do to manage that retention and make it a priority?
Definitely, and because I do believe in the fitness world, like when you're working with a client, whatever their goal is, what happens, like do you have a plan past their goal? Some people will stay for a long time, and that's the relationship you've built. But some people, once they've reached that goal, they no longer require your services. And instead of being sad you lost a client, you should be like elated that you got their goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
My work is done. I've helped you reach this. And at that point is where the retention needs to come in. So what are you retaining them for? Are you creating a lifestyle for them, or are you creating, and now that's what my Fit for Life is about. Are we getting fit for now? Are we getting fit for an event like a wedding or a birthday, or are we getting fit for your life?
Yeah, and all the things that may bring. Yeah, that's the reason I kind of use that name as well, which we share, and amongst others as well around the country and the world. It makes a lot of sense though, because it has kind of double meaning, and I like it. You've already dropped in a number of great tips in the way you do things, and I think that's been really, really useful. But any sort of hot tips that you would recommend people could use, or things that you've done that haven't worked and gone, right, never doing that again, that you'd pass on?
Okay. The three things that I can think of off the top of my head is find your people.
Yeah.
Like once you know your niche and what works for you, put your processes and plans and your energy into that, because not everybody's going to fit you.
No.
And that's okay, because they may fit another trainer. So I'm not a morning person. So people who want to train in the morning, they're not for me, and they're never going to be for me, and I'm okay with that.
Sure. Brilliant. Yeah.
I've tried to get up in the morning and it just doesn't work. It's not sustainable for me. No,
well, that's the thing, right? If you're pushing and it's not sustainable, it's not gonna, it's gonna stop at some point.
My second tip would be financial.
Right.
Create your pricing packages and don't alter them. Don't let a client negotiate with you. It's your business, it's your service. And the one question I always ask myself is, would they negotiate with a doctor? Would they negotiate with a physiotherapist? Would they negotiate with an osteo? They wouldn't negotiate. So why are they negotiate? Why am I letting them negotiate with me?
I like that. Yeah. So it's know your value. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Know your value, know your worth.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And there are other ways to be flexible with your pricing besides doing sales and dropping your price. And that's why I enjoy group training and partner training. Yep. So if you've got options that they can choose from, then, so maybe they could do your $20 boot camp as opposed to your $100 personal training session.
Sure.
Maybe you could bring in 2 or 3 other people and they could share the cost with each other. You still get the same amount of money. Yeah. And they still get the benefit of a training session.
Brilliant. Clever. Thinking outside the box a little bit. That's smart. Yeah. Fantastic.
And the third one is probably what we just covered, which would be retention.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel you need to do to retain, like your person, you've been working with them, you understand their goals, you understand what they're asking and what they need. So you've learned your niche, you've got your pricing sorted. Now, how do you retain that?
Okay. Now, do you have some specific practices that you're happy to share that work well for you?
In regards to retention?
Retention, yeah.
I like to know my person. So I like to know who they are and what their goals are. And then I like to remind them of who they are and what their goals are.
Yes. That sounds simple, but there's more to that than meets the eye, isn't there?
Oh, there's so much to it, especially if you have a lot of people. It's hard to remember all the details. It's personalized health. Make it personal, make it about them. And my Fit for Life, my mantra is fitting fitness into real life. So I let them know that real life happens. It's okay to not, have a good breakfast, just have a better lunch.
Yeah.
So I like to create a safe space for my person. Yeah,
that's great.
And not demonize them. You ate something really bad, you missed a training session, I'm not going to point my fingers at you.
No, exactly. No judgment.
You had an off day, let's have a better day.
Yeah. It reminds me of a video I just saw earlier today with Michelle Yandel, who's a nutritionist, but more than that, but she's very much a believer of the same sort of line of thinking. And she was eating a biscuit, a decent sized biscuit. And the text just said, what happens to your body when you eat a biscuit? Nothing. You know, it doesn't change with one biscuit. So, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. You know, it's just one biscuit. As you say, go and, you know, seek out a slightly healthier lunch. You know, it just, move on.
When they tell me they had like a burger or something for dinner, my first question is, did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Did it taste good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't put any guilt on them for doing that.
No.
It's real life, you know, real life happens. Birthday, Christmases, feeling sad, like it happens.
Yeah. And it's the 80-20 rule, isn't it? Or whichever you prefer, whichever way you want to frame it. You know, it's what you do most of the time that matters, not what you do every minute of every day.
Yeah, definitely. When at Christmas time is a great example. My clients always ask me, what am I meant to do at Christmas? Because I go on holiday at Christmas. What am I supposed to do? And I'm like, look, there are no rules between Christmas and New Year. Eat what you want, do what you want. Just between New Year and Christmas is you got to worry about. It's 1 week. Do what makes you feel good.
Yeah. Enjoy the company of others. Enjoy the food. Blah blah blah. All of that stuff. Yeah. I like it. That's great. Some. I was scribbling those there, Rain. So if I was looking down, that's because I was making notes, not because I wasn't listening. So thank you for those, and thank you for your time. And it's been interesting learning more about not just you and your business, but some of the ways in which you do it as well, because that's the juicy bit. Those are the good stuff that you know, I want to try and find from guests, so listeners have that and they can filter as much as they want or use as much as they want. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Cool. All right, enjoy your weekend. Good to see you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.